I was briefly watching your lesson with Connor, and also D was getting his lesson this morning as well. And like, I don't know what it is recently about. Oh man, okay, Connor just raided me. All right, with like 1,000 people.
Wow. So you were watching the lessons and
Yeah, I was watching the lessons and like, I don't know what it is. Like, why is chess suddenly just blown up on Twitch? It
well,
kind of just came out of left field, didn't it?
I mean, it was always on Twitch and it was pretty big, but I think it's something that we can do online. It's been around for 2,000 years and there's no cheating.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it's amazing. You just
Yeah.
think.
I mean, like now that I actually have an understanding and appreciation for the game, like watching people stream chess is actually a lot of fun. Like I completely understand now why people are into it. All right, I should probably start.
Oh, you have
And
okay.
we are live right now.
Awesome.
Hello, everybody. Hello. All right. Chat going crazy right now because Connor just raided us before we even started the stream. My
the boy. Yeah, it was a great lesson with Connor. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah. I listened in a little bit and I'm like, okay, I understand his tactics now. Not really. Not that I'm ever gonna like meet up with him, but it was interesting to learn.
So
Okay.
do we want to get started?
We're ready to start.
Okay. So in a lot of the games, there were just a lot of blunders.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, just a lot of blunders, and it was one move blunders. It wasn't like it was like here, and you're like, oh, I want to put pressure here, so I'm gonna play here. Stuff like that. Yeah. And I kind of want you to think in a way like, if I make this move, if I were black, what would I do?
Right.
And so that has to kind of deal with your opponent's plans and ideas and stuff like that, but also about how flexible your position is. And so so let's kind of go through some moves here.
Okay.
Now, it's your turn to move. Let's say you're white. Is this a good move for black? Yes or
no? No. Well,
Why?
I don't know. I would say no because because this bishop could probably take this, and then, well, I mean, this pawn is not really being protected by anything other than the queen. So I don't know if you want to like bring your queen into the open this quickly in the game.
Right. And before the stream, you were telling me that you also study piece value, right? So like, if you were to take here, they wouldn't take here, right? Because the bishop is worth 3 and the queen is worth 9 points.
Yeah.
Right. So fair enough. Right. So that is an obvious blunder. So
yeah,
my saying is, if it's free, it's for me. And if you don't see anything wrong with the move you're about to make, then play it. Don't be afraid of ghosts. Right. Just don't say like, oh, this person's much stronger than me, so I have to be careful, so I can't really do it. So you can't play scared.
Yeah.
It's up to your opponent to justify their move and to show you why it's a good move.
Right.
So yeah, this is a horrible blunder. Okay, so let's continue with the game. Let's just keep making moves. And so let's play here. And I want to develop my pieces as white. Where should I go? And this is actually a trick question. But go ahead.
I would maybe move. I'd maybe move knight to here.
That's actually a very beautiful move.
Because it's not really an immediate danger, and it's just, from my understanding, it's just good to get pieces in the back row, like out, into play, rather than it kind of just sitting here idly.
And perfect. I love that thinking. That is actually the correct attitude and the correct mindset. But here, you learned about piece values, but we also have to learn about what our pieces are actually doing, right? Like this rook is not doing anything, so right now we can even consider it to be out of the game or to be worth 0 points. Once they develop, then they have their value. So here, this bishop is amazing because this square and this square are what we call the poison pawns.
Okay.
Right, this is the weakest square on the board, and do you want to guess why?
Is it because if I get my knight in here, then it is like immediately threatening the rook and the queen at the same time?
Almost. But the reason that it's the weakest piece is because it's defended by the weakest piece. So the king is the weakest piece, so that's why it's the weakest pawn, right? So we always have to kind of be wary of that square. So whenever somebody's attacking f7 or f2, you have to say, okay, you have to kind of make sure that you're safeguarded. And so when you're developing, you kind of want to attack f7. If possible. Okay. If if there's a pawn in the way, then whatever, you can't attack it. Right, so let's keep going. And so here, the best move is actually just to retreat this bishop, because this knight is not doing anything. Right?
You're right, right.
Where's the knight going from here?
The black knight?
Where's this knight going?
Probably to c2.
Right, but it's well defended, right?
Oh, right. So I guess it'll have to go... It'll have to retreat back here or here.
Right. And then we can finally bring our pieces out, and now we retain our beautiful bishop.
Right.
And so, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's do another move. And so let's say knight f3, d5, d4, c5, takes, knight c6, c3, and e5. And so let's say you play here and here. So you're white here. What would you do and why? And this is not like an immediately like winning position, but what do you think the best move?
Best move. Probably don't know. Maybe to move this pawn forward.
I
like
can't.
Maybe move it here, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe so that I could get this bishop out to kind of go this way.
Okay. And I have somebody messaging me that the cameras are hidden on your stream.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
Oh, wow. I was like so focused on this lesson that I completely didn't see that. Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys. Whoa, what the hell? What happened there? That's so weird. Let me just delete these. Sorry about that, guys. As you can see, I am a very professional streamer. Okay, window capture. Discord. Where's Discord? Oh, where did Discord go? There's Discord.
Yeah. Just make sure that you don't close the Discord window when you leave from it. Instead, just click over to your streaming, like OBS. So that way it stays active.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your chat thought is because you wanted to focus.
Yeah. My bad, guys. My bad. Let me just put myself back in there. I don't know what happened there. But, okay. Let me go. Boop. Boop. And then do another one for you. Okay. All right. I think we're good.
Okay.
All right.
Good to go?
I think so. Bam. All right.
All right.
Good to go.
All right. So here, the best move, yeah, so this is great because you're developing your piece, and E4 is great because it's an E5. And great. But here we actually have a slightly better move, taking the queen first.
Oh,
Right,
I
so
thought about that, but then I thought if you do that, then the king is just going to probably grab that, all right?
Right, and it's just a queen trade. You're not losing a queen. It's a queen trade, right? It's equal material exchange.
Right.
And so that's the first rule of alchemy, right? And so here, or they could also take with the knight, but here, you know, they would just lose a pawn, take the pawn. Right. So yeah, whenever you see this kind of move where it would be bad for you to let them take, you kind of want to initiate that trade, especially when they open the line. Then it's like, okay, now I can take, right?
Right.
Okay, so that is just one concept that I wanted to introduce. And now, the real stuff. So the name of the game, at least in the opening, is the center. And by the center, I'm talking about E4, E5, D4, and D5. Right? And why the center? Why do we want to control the center? Why do we want to put pieces in the center? And so I'll just give you a very simple example, right? Let's say that this is the mountain.
Right.
If I develop over here, where can I possibly attack? I'm going to either attack on the queen side. By the way, this is the queen side because the queen's here.
Right.
I can either attack on the queen side or I can attack in the center, right? That's where my pieces are basically going to be.
Right.
If I attack over here, then I can only attack on the king side and toward the center. So two places. But if I attack in the center, then my options are more flexible. I can attack on the king side, on the queen side, and in the center. Right? And that's why the center is so important. So there are two ways to play right now. There is the old classical way or the more modern way. So the classical way is to take the center immediately and fight for it with your opponent. And the second way is give up the center and then strike at it when you're ready.
Right.
And so you told me that you don't like deep bluff skills and you just want to attack. So let's just go with the first option.
Okay.
Right? We're going to attack the center. Okay. And let's say they play something bad. Let's say they play something here, which nobody in the tournament is going to do, but just for example, then we just take more of the center. And let's say they...
Yeah, so I played a previous game before this stream where some person did that and then they brought their rook out immediately. And I thought that was really weird.
It is. It actually is really weird.
Yeah.
Here, this is just... Okay, give me the material advantage, right?
Yeah.
Right, and so this is... Yeah, so let's say they just play like this. The crab. Right, and we just start developing. And you always want to develop your knights before your bishops.
Okay.
And you kind of, let's say, they try to attack you. what do you think we want to do?
Bring out the other knight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it will protect this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right.
And if they play here, then finally now we can start playing some moves, right? Like maybe we can bring the bishop out. Because now they can't play h6 to move our bishop. Now we can just play here, and our bishop has a very nice home. And if they play like something like this to try to attack our bishop, then okay, whatever. Cool, I play back. And this is not wasting a move, because now it's our move to move again. And this is what we call tempo in chess.
Right.
And let me just illustrate this point. Just remember this position, okay? It's my turn to move in this position. So let's go back.
Yeah.
If I did this a move earlier, now it's their turn.
Right.
Right? So if they try to attack my bishop here, you're just like, okay, that's fine by me. And if they go back, trying to be smart, then it's my turn. Now I can make another move.
Right.
And so now I'm controlling the center, and now I can play, maybe just develop a bishop, maybe here, and maybe push in the center later. And now all of my pieces are almost out, and then we castle either this way or this way. You can choose which way you want to castle.
Okay. Yep.
And this is basically the ideal setup.
Okay. Is there like any benefits to castling Queenside rather than Kingside?
Okay. Yeah. So let's just put a scenario where you do castle Queenside versus Kingside. So like e4, e5, knight f3. Let's say just knight c6. We're castling Queenside, so let's play here. So just normal moves, something like this. And so in this kind of scenarios where there are opposite castle kings, basically the idea is that you want to like throw these pawns at them.
Right.
Because once these pawns get taken or you start pushing, you start making weaknesses. And if I lose a pawn, so what? Now my rook has an open file.
Right.
So yeah, maybe I lose a pawn, or maybe like I get okay. So like let's say I don't know. Let's say they play something like this, and I play bishop b2. Let's say 6 and g4, something like this. And this is not a good move here. G4 is not a good move at all. But I just want to illustrate a point where let's say bishop g4, then rook h to g1. Now I have this open diagonal that I can potentially start attacking all of your pieces. And if they're not careful, like they're like, okay, you're attacking my knight, so I mean you're attacking my bishop, so I have to like move. Then maybe we might have some ideas like this where they can't take really.
But like they wouldn't move that bishop back, right? Because this knight was protecting it.
Right. So like let's say like something like b5, bishop g5, something like this. Right? And so now we're gonna have constant pressure. Now again, that wasn't a good move there, but it's just an idea to keep in mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you're gonna have constant pressure.
Right.
Okay. And so the next thing is when you're thinking about the center and controlling the center, you really want to think about how many pieces you have out versus your opponent. And you really don't want to move the same piece twice in the opening, unless you have to. Like in the case where we played bishop g5 and bishop e3, that was a good case, right? Because we won time, we won tempo.
Right.
But here, we just develop everything, right? We just bishop c4, bishop e7. This is like normal stuff.
Right.
And then just castles. We have all of our pieces out, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 castles. This is like 4 knights game symmetrical stuff. And now we develop our bishop, right? You have to think, you have to talk to your pieces, say, hey, who needs to get active? Who wants a job? Right? And this bishop is not doing anything. That's hindering this rook.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay. So I also want to show you some really, really nice like tactics that you might want to keep in mind. So I'm actually gonna go into kind of create a tactic, and you'll be doing tactics in your spare time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right now, it's about even. It's black to move here.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to find the best move. Now this is your time to shine, and you're gonna show your big brainness, your 5 head.
Okay. My 5 head. Okay. And I'm black, right? It's black to move.
Is black to move here.
Okay.
気をつけてください。
どうしよう。Because I've been, because it's funny because I feel like I've been in this exact same situation before in a game, and I think I lost in this position because I didn't know what to do.
Here, usually this is a draw, right? Because you have 2 queens, you're just gonna block with the queen, and then you're good, right? But actually, here you have a win as black.
I have a win as black.
Yeah.
I can't go. Well, immediately I can't go here, or here,
nice,
or here, or here.
Mm-hmm.
Because my queen would just get taken by this, the white queen. So
beautiful. But I think you're thinking about this in the opposite way. The way we should be thinking about moves, and I don't know if you have a pen or a notepad, but checks, captures, checkmate threats. But for right now, let's focus on the first 2, checks and captures.
Okay. Yeah.
Think about checks first. You always think about checks.
Yeah.
So where can you check the king? Give me all the squares that you can check the king from with the queen.
I can check it here.
And so,
check it here.
So let's just highlight the squares.
Okay. Sorry. So I can check it here. I can check it here. And I can check it here. Oh, and here. And here. Oh, and no, that's it. I think. Oh, no. I can check it here as well.
And one more.
Oh, here.
Okay, beautiful. Give me the ones that are horrible and take them out.
So this is horrible, this is horrible, this is horrible, and this is horrible.
Beautiful. So now we have 3 candidate moves. Basically, where can my queen go?
Right.
And obviously, you're going to think about this much faster now that you know this little process. So if we go queen to g2, what's going to happen?
Right.
What is white going to do?
The white's probably going to move here, right?
No, because we're checking the king. Remember that.
Oh, we're checking the king. That's right. So it'll probably move here.
No, because that would hang the queen. We would love for them to do that because then we're going to take the queen and say thank you.
Right. So what will the queen do?
Well, we don't have to move the queen. We can just move the king, right?
Right. So they'd have to move the king.
Okay, cool. So they have to move the king, and can we do anything from there?
Could we move our king to put pressure on it?
Yeah, but I don't think it would amount to much, right? They just move out the way, and then we don't really have anything, right? So then this square is nothing, right? So now we have 2 squares left. So let's do this one. So what happens if we check them from d3?
From d3,
what are they going to do?
Then the king's either gonna move like any of these spots.
Wait, well, you can't go here, right? Because the queen's going to go this way.
Oh,
right?
the queen. Yeah. That's right. So these 4.
Right. Okay. So perfect. So and then can you do anything after that?
You can maybe move the queen to either of these two squares.
Right. And maybe that doesn't really amount to much, right?
Nah.
Right. So let's check the last square. So we go here, and then what do they have to do?
They have to. Oh, okay, I see. They have to move the king out of the way,
And then
but then we have a direct hit on the queen.
there we go.
Okay, I understand. Well,
And yeah, and this is called the skewer.
Okay.
A skewer is basically when you attack a higher piece and a lower value piece is behind it.
Mm.
Right, the king is a higher value piece. It's infinite or the whole game, so they have to move away. And you say, "Give me that."
All right. Right.
So now that I showed you this, I'm gonna give you. So it's gonna be the exact same kind of thing, but you're gonna have to create it. Okay, so it's just gonna be a little bit harder.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move the pieces around. And I'm gonna put a rook here, and then I'm gonna put this here, and then the bishop is going to be here. And actually, maybe we don't need this. Maybe we can just use a pawn. Pawn should be enough comp. Okay.
Okay.
So this is a very complicated position, and so it's black to move again.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I showed you the first one is because now you have the basic level, but nobody's going to give you that basic level tactic.
Mm.
You're going to have to go a little bit deeper and kind of identify that. So
Right.
let's see, can you spot it? I believe in you.
So I would probably move. Well, first,
Remember how we were supposed to think. Checks and captures, and then checkmate and stuff. Yeah.
Right. So I can't move here because then this bishop's just going to take me with the queen.
Well, we don't. We're not. We're just put them all on the board, even if they're bad. And then one by one, we'll say, okay, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad.
Right. So I'm thinking, if I move this pawn forward here, then I'll leave space for the bishop to move in this diagonal.
Is that a check?
It would be a check if I put it here.
Right, but is it a check right now? Like if you played e3 right now?
No, right, because the queen. But then the queen can take it.
So can you show me a check? All the checks that you have in the position.
Okay, so it would be here with the bishop.
Well, you can't do that right now.
Sorry. So it would be here with the queen. Here with the queen. I think that's it.
A few more.
Here with the bishop?
No, because the bishop is protected.
Oh, yeah, the bishop can take it, right. A few more.
Yeah, there are 3 more checks in that position.
3 more checks. I can't go. It's hard. So obviously this diagonal is probably not good to go because the bishop can take that.
Yes, but we don't care so much about the bishop being able to take us. We're just identifying checks.
Yeah.
So like I'll give you one of them. Queen taking here is a check.
Oh, right. Okay.
So maybe you can find another one that's a check as well. You said it before, actually.
So it's there as well.
We can't go there. We can't hop over.
Oh, yeah, right. So be here.
Exactly. And then there's one more still next to the king.
here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, okay. So this one is not really that good because the queen is going to take it and it's not that advantageous, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. And so now we have to, okay, and maybe this was not that good because the bishop takes and we don't really have tempo on the king. So then we're kind of left with 3 of them. And so these 2 are basically the same, right? So let's just calculate one of them. So if I play, let's say queen b3.
Okay. Then the queen is probably... Oh, would we be at an advantage because then they'd have to move the queen here to stop it, right?
They don't have to.
Or they could just move the king
right
somewhere.
And then we don't really have any follow-up, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. So cool. And actually queen b3 is still winning. It's still mate actually. But we're going to find a better move. And so that kind of leaves us with this idea, right? And so can you find a follow-up idea in your head? Let's not even play the moves. In your head, can you find a follow-up? So what happens when queen captures bishop on e4?
Then the king is going to take it and move to e4.
And then, do we see the skewer?
Yes, because then the bishop to g2 is the skewer. Yeah.
And then the king moves up.
And the king has to move, and then we just take the queen.
Beautiful. Exactly. Right. So, let's play that out. That's beautiful. Exactly. Right. So we made a tactic there.
Right. And then we take the queen. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Cool. Cool. Now, for the hardest lesson and the hardest part, we're gonna learn how to win this game when you're just 1 pawn up.
Right.
And then we're gonna learn how to checkmate with the queen and how to checkmate with 2 rooks.
Okay.
Okay. So, actually, let's do it like this. Because white always starts on 1 and 2.
Okay.
Okay, so here we're going to learn about opposition. And opposition is basically where the kings are an odd number of squares away. And so we have 2 kinds of opposition. We have close opposition, where the kings are 1 square apart from each other. Kings can never touch. So distant opposition is where they're 3 or 5 squares away from each other.
Okay.
Okay. So basically what we want to do with our king is that we're going to keep moving. Move. 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 Now we are 1 square away from each other.
Right.
And it's black to move. And so we're forcing them. They can no longer make progress this way. So we're forcing them to go to one of these squares.
Right.
And so when they go here, we want to make progress here. So where do you think we go? What square?
I'd assume e5.
We can't go to e5 because it's protected by their king.
Oh, right.
So what square isn't protected by their king?
It would be f5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And so if they try to go back, then we get opposition again by... How do we get opposition again?
By going back to e5.
Beautiful. And in this kind of endgame, you want to make sure that your king does all the work. Right? Your king does all the work. Finally, when your king's on the 6th rank, then we start pushing the pawn.
Oh, okay. So why would you not push the pawn around like the 5th rank or the 4th rank?
So let's go here, right? If you push the pawn here, it's automatically a draw. The reason is because we can never get opposition.
Oh, right.
So here now they have opposition, and then we finally we have to push the pawn, and then we're gonna dance around this pawn.
Right.
until finally, and I'll show you the end result of this. Check here and stalemate.
Right.
So to avoid that, we move the king and we make the king do all the work first. Now you ask me, why don't we start pushing when it's on the 5th rank? Yeah, so like let's say the king decides not to go back and goes forward instead, then here we can push. And we're looking for this thing that I coined the red carpet.
Okay.
Right? Because we're gonna make the pawn a queen.
Right.
Right? So bam, we get this kind of opposition. We're blocking the king off, and also the pawn is doing some work because the pawn attacks diagonally.
Right. So it has to go back.
Right, so it's a wall, and then here, and I want you to remember this position for this pawn endgame. No matter whose turn it is to move, it is a win for white.
Right.
If they move to the side, bam, red carpet.
Right.
And we're gonna make a queen. Let's say it's let's say it was white to move. Here, push, and now since it's their turn, this is why tempo is so important. It's their turn to move. Now they play out, and then we play king f7 to protect the queening square.
Right. Okay.
They move out, and now we learn how to checkmate with the queen.
Right.
Okay, do you know how to checkmate with the queen?
I think so. It's you have to put the queen like right next to the king, but in a position that the queen won't be taken.
And how do we do that?
So,
and it's okay to say I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, don't worry, because I'm here to teach, right? So
yeah,
the best way to do this is that we want to think about the board, right? And we want to separate them into quadrants, right? So this is one quadrant. There's another quadrant.
Yeah.
And we kind of want to say, hey, let's actually draw all the quadrants. Right. Okay. So they're here, and this is looking like a 8th grade math class or a 7th grade math class. And so they're in this quadrant here, and so we want to trap them there. All right. So let's say they move. We want to trap them. Bam. And every move.
Basically, you force them into a corner.
Exactly.
Right.
And so every move you want to stay a knight's check away. Do you see this? Oops, actually, let me take off the arrows. That means I'm not checking them, but I'm pushing them.
Right.
So let's say they go up. Actually, here we can even use the king to go and push him.
Yeah.
And so let's say they go this way, this way, this way. And once they reach one of the edges, then we want to go away from the king. Make sure they have enough space. So go here or go here. The safer way is just to go back and trap them on this edge. The arrow's not
right. Because they can't go into the 7th rank.
Exactly. And now once they start moving, then the king works.
Right.
And then finally, I love to call this the in-your-face checkmate. Right? The king is protecting the queen.
Yeah.
And then the king is attacking. Exactly.
Right.
So I'm gonna give you a position, and I want you to checkmate me. Okay, so let's take this off the board. Here. Let's bring this queen on. And let's play here. And it is white to move. And I will play black.
Okay. So you would want to push them down, as you said. So I would go here.
That's really good. But what quadrant are they in?
Bottom right.
right? So maybe there's a move that we can do to keep them from going up, right?
Right.
What do you think that move is?
A5?
Nice.
Yeah.
The best move. Yeah.
Okay.
And so they can go to a different quadrant, but that doesn't matter because then we can start pushing them.
Yeah.
Right? So like if they played like there, then we can play here and then we push them. Okay, but I'm going to play here.
Okay. So then I would play here.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, good. Okay, so I'm going to play here.
I guess just keep pushing them.
Masaka. Okay.
Okay. And then
what happened?
Now so now that you're on an edge, we have to start moving the king.
There's one key. How do you keep me on the edge?
Oh. Move me on the G.
Nice.
Yeah.
You could have moved here or here. Remember, you want to make sure that they can move, because if they can't move, it's a stalemate. Okay, so I'm gonna move here and then
I'll go here.
I'll play here.
Here.
Okay, that still works, but you had a checkmate. Remember that the king protects these 3 squares, right?
Oh yeah, right. So just like that.
Hai makemashita, arigatou gozaimasu.
Hey. Oh, that feels so good.
Right, so that's how you checkmate with the queen.
Right, okay. Understand now.
Right. Okay, so
Right.
now let's do it with a rook. And it's a very similar concept. So let's take the king and put it here. Take the queen off, and let's put 2 rooks. Let's put the king here. Okay. And so there is a lot of names for this checkmate, but the best one I think is a ladder checkmate.
Okay.
Right. And so when you're climbing a ladder, and if you can look at the camera or my cam. So when you're climbing a ladder, right? You don't climb a ladder like this and then this and then you lift yourself up. I mean, unless you're JoJo.
Yeah.
But you climb here and then you get the next one and then you get the next one and then you get the next one, right?
Right.
And so here, what we want to do is that we want to limit the king from going down, and then keep pushing them with the other rook, and then keep pushing them right. Okay, and so let's try to do that. I'm just gonna give it to you. I'm not even gonna show you an example. I think you can do this.
So it would be something like that. Oh, whoops.
Oh, sorry, it's a white to move. Go.
Oh, there we go. So it'd be that.
Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna go here.
And then it'd be that.
Okay. I'm gonna make it easy. I'm not gonna play the best defense.
Okay. And that. And then checkmate.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's a ladder checkmate, right? But they're gonna put up the most resistance, right? So like here, I can play here, and so when they attack your rook, very simple move. There's 2 ways to do this. How many spaces does the king move?
1.
Right. And the rook? A lot.
However many, yeah.
Right. So you're gonna just yeet this over here. And then you have
right. And then you just do it again. Yeah.
Exactly. Or you can just do it an easy way. An easy way is to kind of remember it and just play here. Protect this because it's now their turn and they can't attack it, so they have to move away, and then you check them. Right. And then you kind of repeat that process. So however, you You find it, whatever. Yeah. So bam, they have to always move away,
Right.
and then checkmate.
But how often would you be in a position where both of your rooks would be at the edge?
It happens a lot, but you can.
Oh, really?
But you can always get it there, right? So this is just a concept, right? And so when you get this, and let's say you have two rooks, and let's say these two rooks are, let's say, like this.
Yeah.
And then your king's here, then you can easily recognize the pattern. You're like, oh wait, this is the ladder checkmate. Okay, let me just put this guy over here.
Right. Okay.
Right. And now, I hope this isn't too much information, but are you ready to do it with just one rook?
I can try.
All right. And so with one rook, you're going to need the king's help. In the previous checkmate, the queen did all the work, and then the king came in. And this checkmate, you don't need the king at all. But for the obviously one king, but one rook, you're going to need the king's help. And I think the easiest way is, I'm going to be hated by your chat, but it's to build a wall.
Okay. That's all right. Don't worry.
My internet career is over. Japanese tutor wants to build a wall.
Wall.
So, what you want to do is that you want to stop the king from going up. So you decide, right? So I don't want him to go past the 5th rank.
Yeah.
Or I don't want him to go on the D file. You decide that. Right. And so let's just do the D file. So like I'll play, let me just make it white to move here. Okay, here. And so let's say here. And so here, what I'm going to do is that I'm just gonna always have this wall here, and I'm gonna push the king.
Right.
And go away from the wall. If they go back this way, then I'm just gonna follow them. Okay. If they try to go next to the wall to try to like gain a tempo, then I play here. Right. And then I make the wall smaller.
Okay. So okay. So basically you're just using like the wall of the rook to push them into a corner.
So let's say they play here, and if they go back, then it doesn't matter. I just move along this file. They have to go back. Bam.
Yeah. Okay.
And now it's easy, right? And so bam, bam, and just move along. And now we don't even have to shorten the wall anymore. We can just check them because now they're basically in the territory. So you follow them. They go here, check. You push in the back, right? Because the king is defending these two squares. And then the rook is here. So it's basically acting like that second rook that we had.
Right.
Here, follow them. They move away, check. Here, follow them. Bam, bam. They move to the corner and check and mate.
Checkmate. Right.
Because your king is cutting off these 3 squares.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Man, it's so interesting, but like, it's just a matter of now just like putting that into practice, right? And just not being so short-sighted.
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you want to try it?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm gonna move. Let's say here. Let's do like this, and then let's play here, and I'm gonna make it harder for you. Like that.
Okay.
All right. So it's gonna be white to move. Go ahead.
Okay. So I gotta think. Probably be best to trap them on the left side since they're already on the left side of the board.
Okay.
So I would go here.
Beautiful. We're gonna go here.
Then I guess I'd have to start moving the king over. So here.
Let's say go here.
Here.
Nice. Nice. Going away from the wall. Very nice. And then, okay.
Okay. And then just push the wall further.
Nice. Very easy.
That.
Remember, the rook just... We don't need to go back. The rook needs to move here, remember? So remember, you can just yeet this rook all the way over because the king can't do anything, and now because we can always make the wall from over here, right?
And now the rook's not in danger if it's up
right.
Right. Okay. So I'll go like that.
Okay, so I'll go up. And so when I go up,
I have to follow.
Well, in this case, you don't have to follow. You only follow when you have the rook here on the second rank. So here, you would just stay away from the wall, and bam.
Okay.
And finally, if they do go here, then you cut them off, and then you follow.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to go back.
Just keep going, I guess?
Yes. I'm going to attack your rook.
Nope.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to go up.
Okay. Here?
You just waste the move with the rook, right? Right, because they're either forced to go here or they're going to go back, which then you can go here. So you can,
okay.
You just waste a move, yeah.
Right, so just like here.
Yeah, perfect. So I'm going to go here. Right, you just want to keep pushing.
Oh, right. I need to leave that space for the rook.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
here.
Yeah. And let's say I play here, which is probably the easiest continuation. Very nice.
And then like that.
Well, here that is the best. That is a good move. That's gonna be mate in one. But you have a mate in one right now because you notice this. They can't go up anymore.
Okay, so that's like that.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, my brain is hurting. So much information.
I'm just gonna add one more thing.
Okay.
And most of the time, and especially people at your level, they're gonna try to formally checkmate you. And so hopefully you just watch this VOD over, and you can you learn all the techniques one more time. Here, e4, e5, and so I'm gonna show you the 4-move checkmate.
Okay.
And so I'll show you why it works.
Okay.
So whenever we study chess, we learn, okay, we bring this knight out, we bring this knight out, we bring the bishop out, and then we castle, and then we're good. Right? That's what everybody learns. And we're taking advantage of that by playing bishop c4. They're going to play the knight out, and then we play the queen. And they're like, okay, does it stop my plan? No. So I'm just going to attack the queen. But then what's the move? Do you see the checkmate?
Yeah, moving the queen here. No? Oh, okay.
Think about what square both of your pieces are attacking.
It's attacking this one. Oh.
So what's the right piece to take with?
The bishop.
If the bishop goes, then they have access to this square.
Ah, right. So be the queen.
Exactly.
Okay, like that.
Yep, exactly.
Right. Wow, that's brutal.
Right, so that's a 4-move checkmate. But actually, there's a faster checkmate.
Okay.
And remember when I told you about those poison pawns?
Mm-hmm.
It has to deal with them. So whenever you see that they're moving this pawn, you should always think, okay, my queen needs to maybe try to check. Not immediately, but that should be in the back of your mind.
Right.
And so the way that I like to explain this is, chess is a very amazing game and a thinking's man's game, right? And let's say you're black, right? You have the black pieces, and I'm playing the white pieces. We sit down, we shake hands, but not right now. We elbow touch,
Yeah.
And so I play f3. And you as a good player say, well, that doesn't control the center, right? Barely controls the center. That means more center for me, right?
Right.
And then they play this move. And they're looking at you seriously. They're grilling you in your eye. And they're just like, Yaruka? But with their eyes, because I can't talk to you in a tournament. And so here, it is your turn. And I want you to play the best move. And remember what I told you, that when they play that f3 move, there should be something like a trigger in the back of your mind.
Right. I believe it's this.
Mate.
Right?
Yeah.
Because it's immediate checkmate, right?
Yeah. You can't, the bishop can't do anything. Nothing can take it. This is actually called the fool's mate.
Okay. Wow.
Because
I thought the 4-move checkmate was like the fastest, but
this is a 2-move checkmate.
Yeah. Wow. That's brutal.
So
okay.
Yeah, any questions so far about the lesson? Anything you're confused with?
No, I think, I mean, obviously I just have to practice a whole lot more, but I think I got a pretty good idea about how to I think right now, like, I also need to figure out like how to checkmate. I think is my biggest problem, because I think I'm getting a little bit better at kind of controlling the center and getting pieces out into play and stuff like that, and backing pieces up and whatnot. But I think the part that I always mess up with, that usually ends up in a draw or a loss, is just the fact that I don't really know how to checkmate. Is there like a tactical way? Say if you had like 2 bishops, like how would you checkmate with 2 bishops?
Okay, so the 2 bishops require obviously the bishops and the king. It's not that important, I think, because I think you could use that time elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want me to show you, I can show you.
Okay, sure.
Okay. And
because I've been in a situation where I had 2 bishops and I just didn't know how to pin them, like pin the king.
I see. Okay, so the 2 bishop mate. So first of all, you want to do as much work with the bishops as possible, and so you want to cut off the king. So here we see that the king can make progress here. So actually, let's make legal moves on. And so bishop c4. So do you want to make moves for black?
Sure. I guess I would go here.
Okay. And here, I don't have to cut you off because my bishop's already doing the work.
Right.
So I'm going to improve my king.
Right. So I guess I just have to go back.
Okay. And then I'm going to play here, so that you don't go here, and then I can just improve my king. So my bishops are basically cutting you off like this.
Right. So I'm basically forced to retreat into this corner.
Well, yeah, you have a few squares, but not so many. Yeah.
Okay, so see if I go there.
Okay, and so I'll just play here. little by little, I'm trying to force you. Right, and so just king e5. Just keep forcing you.
Right.
King e6. Basically forcing you to this square or this square.
Yeah. Okay.
Bishop b5, not letting you go back to that square, and also my bishop is already cutting you off. My king is cutting you off.
Right. So if I get there.
Right, and so here's actually very interesting because I have this really nice move. I think king d6 might be the fastest. Maybe bishop b6 might be the fastest, but I'll play king d6. And so my bishop controls this. I control the top three.
Okay.
So now you play here.
So I have to go here.
Right. And so here I can play maybe even bishop here. Just controlling here. So you're stuck between a few squares.
So
yep. And so here bishop b6.
Right.
And I think my king just can go this way. b5. King here.
Right. You're moving your king around because these diagonals are just all covered.
Right. And so,
okay.
And so now you're forced to go here.
Yeah.
And now I'm forcing you to go here.
Right.
And yeah, I just play whatever move. You're forced to go here.
Yeah.
Check. And checkmate.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how you do the two bishops.
Okay.
So that's how you do the two bishops.
I think I'm starting to understand that. I think my problem was that I wasn't really utilizing the king. Because, like, from what I learned, like, the king is, like, the piece you have to protect, right? So I think I just have to learn to, like, use the king as an attacking piece endgame.
Oh, the king is super strong in the endgame.
Yeah.
I think he has an attack value of 3. So he's just as strong as a bishop because he can push the other king away and he can't be captured, right? So he's really strong.
Okay. Oh, man. I went from a 4-head to a 5-head in this stream, definitely.
Yeah, and I think, like, what's your rating now? Like 300 or 350?
Yeah, something like 300 and something, yeah.
I think that you'll be like 600, 700 just from like absorbing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hope so.
Yeah. But don't stress yourself out too much because you did a very long lesson. This is your first chess lesson, right?
Yeah.
So your brain is probably gonna hurt. So get a banana, get something, get some potassium in you. It happens to me. It happens to the best of us. And so your homework. I need you to play more games.
Yeah, I definitely
get experience. And I want you to do 15 tactics a day. Okay. The tactics are under puzzles, so puzzles, and then just do 15 of them. And then just send me a screenshot every day. Okay. All right. And that's it. Any other questions before I head out?
I think I'm good so far. I just gotta get started on those tactics, really. I'll probably stream some of the tactics as well, because why not? Or I'll stream some of the practice games, I guess. But I'll do the tactics off stream, yeah. But
awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I learned a hell of a lot more than I thought I was going to learn. Yeah. So thank you for that.
My chat is rooting for you.
Thank you. My chat is like half rooting for me and half clowning on me that I don't know how to play this game, but that's okay.
Yeah. Just gambatte.
はい、頑張ります。